Good morning, beloveds. It's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. And it is June 19th. Our title is Faith. The first quote is, "According to your faith be it unto you." And that is Matthew 9:29. The second quote is, "Faith is the power of prayer. It is a mental attitude against which there is no longer any contradiction in the mind that entertains it." And that is Science of Mind, page 283. Several years ago, a family in Italy discovered that their young son needed a liver transplant. The only place they could go for this delicate operation was to England. Now this family, which was intensely religious, had very little money. However, they had one resource that was priceless: faith. The cost of the liver transplant was about $65,000, but they had only enough money to fly to England, so they spent their last lira for the airline tickets and boarded the plane. The 400 people on board the flight learned the boy's need and took up a collection that amounted to $72,000. The faith of that family was so unshakable that it created both the perfect flight and the generosity of the passengers to come to their rescue. When we have confidence that God will guide and help us, the law of the universe is set into motion to bring about the answer to our need. In Science of Mind, we call this knowing the truth. When we can get to that place where we know the truth unwaveringly, unfalteringly, and unhesitatingly, then we can say with great conviction, our faith has made us whole. Today, I know the truth. I know that I live in a spiritual universe. I know that I am part of this universe. Therefore, I am a spiritual being. I know the truth. I know that everything is done unto me as I believe. I go forth this day eagerly expecting my good. I am God's perfect child in whom he is well pleased. That is RJ, which is Rainbow Johnson. And immediately when I read the first quote, my immediate response was, it's a joke, but it's also true about a test. And when somebody comes to you and says, "Well, I hope you get what you deserve," does it make you feel good or does it scare you senseless? Because that tells you where you are. And that's kind of the way that first quote is, Matthew 9:29. "According to your faith be it unto you." And does that give you the collywobbles, or does it make you feel, oh, okay? And that might give you kind of an idea of where your faith is, how strong your faith is. And the thing about faith is it's not something you have, okay? It is something you work on. It is something you practice. It is something that you have, but it is important that you work on it every day. And not from a okay. Think about it like this. Think about it like a muscle. All right? If you want your muscles to be strong, you work on them every day. So it's the same thing with faith. It's not coming from a place of, "Oh, I don't have enough faith." It's coming from a place of you want to keep your faith strong. You want to keep your faith strong by working on it, which is kind of the point of spiritual practice. The point of spiritual practice is every day to connect with the source of your own being. Well, if you connect with the source of your own being every day, you are consciously aware of the source of your own being, then it increases your faith because you are consciously connecting to it. And when you consciously connect to it, then the source of your own being, it's not that it works better, it's just that you're more willing to ask for what you need. I mean, can you imagine getting on an airplane with nothing to go get a liver transplant that's really expensive, and then, believing that it's gonna work out. Somehow it's gonna work out. And in this case, in this story, the passengers on the airplane took up a collection and went, "No, we're gonna help this child out." Is it gonna happen like that every time? No. But the universe, the spirit, has this infinite variety of ways of bringing what we need to us. when we are open to it. Had they not gotten on the airplane, had they not gotten on that particular airplane, it would have worked out differently. But it would have worked out because they had the faith. They bought the airline tickets. And so exercising faith, and I'm going to use that word because I know nobody likes the word exercise. I mean, people do. But, you've got to exercise your faith. You've got to practice it. You've got to work it like a muscle. It is a muscle. It's just a spiritual muscle. And the more you work it, the stronger it is. And the cool thing about that is, and it's just like muscles, when that thing happens and all of a sudden you need those muscles, they're already in prime condition and ready. And so they catch you when you fall. And that's the same thing with faith, with that spiritual muscle. It's like the more you exercise it, the more you practice, then when things happen, your life doesn't spin out of control because you have those spiritual muscles to catch you, to stabilize you, and then you can look around and go, okay, this is what I'm going to do now. You're not left to flounder because one, you know where to go, and two, you have those muscles ready to stabilize you and get you going. So I do think that first quote is very telling. According to your faith, be it unto you. I hope you get what you deserve. And don't get me wrong. When people say, I hope you get what you deserve, sometimes they intentionally say it in a creepy way and they want you to be creeped out. But, it's that way. It's like, all right, according to your faith, be it unto you. If that scares you silly, you've got some work to do. You got to exercise that spiritual muscle of faith. So the next one is faith is the power of prayer. See, exercising that spiritual muscle. It is a mental attitude against which there is no longer any contradiction in the mind that entertains it. So it's like once you have set your mind on whatever it is, you can't hesitate, you can't waver, you can't falter, you just gotta, and that is what daily spiritual practice is for. Because we want to practice until it becomes a habit. We want to practice until it becomes subconscious, unconscious. We want to ingrain it deeply in our subconscious, deeply in our unconscious, that it works even when we are not conscious of it. Because right now, it is work. It is work. It is absolutely work where we practice our faith. And as my friend Ruth likes to say, she wants to know it in her bones. That's when the mind cannot entertain anything other than. Okay, so then she tells the story again. Several years ago, a family in Italy discovered their young son needed a liver transplant. The only place they could go for this delicate operation was England. All right. Now this family, which was intensely religious, and see, it doesn't matter what the religion is. The point of it is the faith, because all religions can have amazing faith, or none at all. That's up to the individual. It's not about the religion. It is about the individual. Had very little money. However, they had one resource that was priceless. They had faith. The cost of the liver transplant was $65,000, but they had only enough money to fly to England. So they spent their last lira for the airline tickets and boarded the plane. That is a huge 400 people. Wow. 400 people on board the flight learned of the boy's need and took up a collection which amounted to $72,000. The faith of that family was so unshakable, it created both the perfect flight and the generosity of the passengers to come to their rescue. The faith of the family was so unshakable that it created, okay? Spirit put them in the right place at the right time, and got their story in the right ears that this happened. Had they taken a later flight, it would have been different. Had they taken an earlier flight, it would have been different. Spirit created the perfect event for this family, for this child. And it can do the same thing for you. And sometimes, I think frequently it does. It's just, it's not so overwhelming. You know, it's like nobody hands us $72,000, but most of us don't need $72,000. I think frequently we pray for things and Spirit hands us exactly what we need, but it isn't always what we want. All right? So, you know, go back to that old Rolling Stone song. Can't always get what you need, but you can't always get what you want, but you'll always get what you need. Okay, so the generosity of the passengers came to the rescue. When we have confidence that God will guide us and help us, the law of the universe is set in motion to bring the answer to our need. All right? Help us and guide us. Now, does not say it's going to fix it for us. It does say help and guide us. We do have the action part of this. We've got to be willing to get up and go do. Okay? Spirit might come knocking to us on our door when we're sitting on our couch, but it doesn't generally happen that way. Okay? Most of the time, we got to go take action, and then Spirit will guide us. And it does say bring about the answer to our need. Not necessarily our wants, but our needs. Okay? In the science of mind, we call this knowing the truth. When we get to that place where we know the truth unwaveringly, unfalteringly, and unhesitatingly, then we can say with great conviction, our faith has made us whole. We got this. Okay, today I know the truth. I know that I live in a spiritual universe. I know that I am part of this universe. There is nothing outside of this universe. Therefore, I am a spiritual being. And that right there is one of the biggest things. Let's start from the premise that we are spiritual beings having a material experience. I know the truth. I know that everything is done unto me as I believe. And if that gives you pause, that's where you want to start your work. I go forth this day eagerly expecting my good. I am God's perfect child in whom it is well pleased. All right? So that is Rainbow Johnson on faith. Okay. Oh. Mission. Mission today, should we choose to accept it? Actually, I'm not going to take words out of there. I am going to say the mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to exercise our faith. What does that look like? It can be treatment, it can be meditation, it can be the spiritual practice that I always recommend of doing something loving for yourself, doing something kind for yourself, doing something compassionate for yourself. It can be any of those things, but the mission today, and the mission every day, is to exercise our faith. It is a muscle and it needs the workout. All right? So, and there is nothing too big or too small to treat for. We joke that we treat for parking spaces because it's a good place to start. All right? And sometimes you just need a place to park because, one, the lot is full, or two, you don't want to walk that far. So exercise your spiritual muscle. You know? That's the mission. And where are you going? And then as I said, one of the things you can do to exercise your faith is that to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself, whatever it looks like. Big, small, does not matter. Point is to do it. Exercise every day. The good news about exercising your spiritual muscle every day is it doesn't wear you out the way exercise can do, and you don't need to take a break from it. All right? I'm being distracted by the cat. I need to stop. So, pet the cat or the dog. Cuddle the cat or the dog. That is a spiritual practice of doing something loving, kind, and compassionate for yourself. Take a nap. Take a walk. Go get in nature. Drink a cup of coffee and engage all 5 of your senses. Or simply take 3 deep breaths before you speak. The point is to exercise your faith. But it's also about practicing love, kindness, and compassion on yourself, because you deserve your own love, kindness, and compassion. You absolutely do. And the more you practice on yourself, the more you will have to share with everybody else. All right, beloveds. And now they're head to head. It's kind of cute. So I am going to, I don't know what I was about to say. Oh well. I'm going to encourage you to email info@creativelife.org. Get on the mailing list. That way you'll know what's going on. The memorial is today. If you haven't gotten the Zoom link, it's too late, because we are getting ready for the service. As far as I know, though, you will have access to the memorial service after, once we get it downloaded and uploaded to YouTube. It will be a private link, though. It will not be available to the, for the general public. So you're going to have to ask for that. So that's what we're up to. And I really need a drink of water. So I'm going to tell you to catch us on the social medias. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I'm the running Rev Ryan. I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, an amazing day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a hold your loved ones close day, a tell your loved ones that you love them day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day, because you are enough, just as you are. You are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased. So, I know what I forgot. I encourage you to engage your mind and your body. Unless it's your day of rest. I encourage you to drink plenty of water. I encourage you to get some bright light early in the day. And I encourage you to open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you, you do live in heaven right here, right now. It is all around you all the time. It is the best advice I can give you for seeing heaven, because it's a state of mind, is to look for the good and praise it, like Emma says. All right, beloveds. Take care of yourself. Know that you're loved. We will have a service for you at 11 on Facebook Live. The memorial starts at 2, so if you're in the area and you want to come. And then Reverend David will probably be on around 5, but like I said, we got a memorial, so y'all give him a break depending on what time he gets to it. And I will be back with you at 9 a.m. All right. You are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased and God is well represented. Remember that. Sometimes you're the only Bible other people read. So, it's not that you want them to like what they see, but it's that you want them to feel your heart. So, know that you're loved, and I will see you soon.